Writer extraordinaire, Fred Van Lente. How you doing?
Very well. How you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good. So we're at the New York Comic Con. This is a big week because Chaos War #1 just came out.
Yes.
And we had you on our Don't Miss audio podcast. But how now that it's out and people have read it, have you gotten a lot of feedback at the show about it? Or?
We got an amazing feedback here at the show. We got amazing feedback online. We should have an excellent announcement regarding it very shortly.
Really? Oh, excellent.
That we've been sitting on and waiting and waiting and waiting.
Yeah.
And hopefully, I think they might announce it this weekend, but we'll see.
Oh, cool. Excellent. So in Chaos War, you killed Nightmare.
Yeah. Who liked that guy anyway? He's pasty.
He's one of those characters that have been around forever. But
Yeah, but you know, Marilyn Manson's gone, so I figured Nightmare should go out with him. He's too emo.
You seem like Marvel's closest attempt to Sandman and stuff like that.
Yes,
but
exactly.
Yeah.
And like Sandman, now he's dead.
Yeah. So do you have to take a certain amount of pride knowing that you killed one of the Pantheon characters at Marvel?
Yeah, no, we don't. I'm kidding. Obviously, we don't do it lightly. I'm a huge Doctor Strange fan. I think I actually prefer it. I prefer Ditko's work on Doctor Strange to Spider-Man in many ways, and I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. But he's just a terrific, iconic character, and we felt like, how can we make people realize that this isn't a typical alien invasion, that this isn't just gods beating each other up. We're knocking out very key cosmic characters and magical characters in the Marvel Universe, and another one gets knocked off in Chaos War #2 in 2 weeks.
Just keeps coming. Wow.
I know, it's relentless.
Yeah.
It redefines big.
Yeah. So you're also doing a Taskmaster miniseries that's getting a lot of like under the radar kind of attention.
Yeah,
I never thought Taskmaster would get a series.
I know, right?
Yeah.
This is actually the second series, believe it or not.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that. Yeah.
But Udon did one in the early part of the century.
Oh, okay.
But it's been terrific to do. It's all sorts of great, crazy characters. My wife likes it because she says I'm bringing the Fred crazy.
Yeah.
Which that was her exact quote. Which
well, that's what I want to ask you about. So you introduced a whole bunch of like groups of villains.
Yes.
Including the Inquisition.
Yes.
Which looked a lot like the Hate Mongers.
Yes. And you may see more Hate Monger in
Really?
Taskmaster, because after all, in Taskmaster 3, we meet the town where everyone is Hitler.
Really?
Yes.
Hitler, always funny. There's a resurgence of Nazis in comics recently. Have you noticed?
Well, you know, the Captain America movie is coming out, so
Yeah.
I guess there has to be something like that. Everybody likes to beat up Nazis. They're the one politically correct group we can just pound on and no guilt is involved.
So the one comment a lot of people make about your writing is that you write very kind of classic, fun Marvel style.
Sure.
Like I've heard that a lot.
Yeah.
Is that, I mean, we all know you're a big fan of comics, you're a big fan of the medium.
Yeah.
When you sit down to write your books, are you thinking in that way, or is that just what you know? I mean.
No, I think I'm just a wise ass, and
Yeah.
Stan Lee was a wise ass, and so I think that's where that's coming from. Is I'm not heavily into the, you know, you raped my dog, prepare to die, school of dark, gritty superheroes. That just makes me throw something across the room, so I'm not really, into that.
Cool. So you're also here at the show, and you're working with a pretty big author.
I know, right? I'll just hold this up.
Yeah, let's pimp it up.
You may have seen this on your badges, folks. This is Odd on Our Side. It's a new manga by me and Dean Koontz, starring his very popular Odd Thomas character, and that is premiered this week. And if y'all, I don't know, this is probably pointless, but anyway, they're giving it away for free tomorrow at the Del Rey booth.
Yes, come out after that.
Yeah. I'll be there. My wrist will be broken.
So you said you and Dean Koontz, like, did you work directly with him?
I did, yeah. No, he was terrific to work with. Very generous as a collaborator. Really knows his characters and really loves their specific voices, and it's just terrific to work with him.
Has he ever done anything in sequential art before, or was this his?
He has. This is actually the second manga,
Okay.
the second Odd Thomas manga.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. And is that kind of, it's a different crowd, I would imagine, than, you know.
It is. There are a lot of like pre-comments on Amazon, like I didn't realize this was going to be a comic. 1 star, you know. So
Without even reading it.
yeah,
right?
exactly. They're like, what? This has pictures in it. What's happening? You know.
This isn't Koontz. The Koontz fans. There you go.
Exactly.
Right?
I'm here with Francis Manapul. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Good. Now you're the artist on Flash. It's one of the biggest books of DC. This must be a very different con experience for you than in the past.
Yeah, I mean, like every con I've been going to lately, it's just been getting busier and busier, and it's kind of overwhelming. You know, I'm not really used to that. I mean, I've been in this industry a lot longer than most people think.
Yeah.
So, you know, to have it change that rapidly, you know, it's great.
You're one of those typical overnight successes that's been around for years. Is it gratifying to finally have a book that a lot of people are liking and enjoying, and you get a lot of people coming up to? That must be really gratifying?
Well, I mean, it's fun to have a book that people read.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, before, you know, you're working on books and you know it's good stuff, but it's just not reaching enough people. So I mean, with Geoff writing it, it's definitely putting more hands on paper. You know, it's better than asses on seats, right?
So how did you get involved with Geoff? So you were on Adventure Comics together. How did you guys hook up?
Well, after working on Legion of Superheroes, I had like a list of writers I told Dan that I really, really wanted to work with. Because at that point, I realized that the best thing to do is to choose who I'm working with rather than what I'm working on. And it just so happens that I actually at first really, really wanted to do The Flash with Geoff, but he had promised the book to somebody else. So he's like, there's this book with Superboy, and I'm like, I don't know. You know, but the character really grew on me because it allowed the art style that I was trying to implement to grow, and it was the perfect subject matter, you know. And then from there, we had such a great collaboration. When Dan was looking for a creative team to relaunch The Flash, he thought, what about Geoff and Francis? So unfortunately, we had to exit that title a little early, but at least I was finally able to draw The Flash.
You were on the book you wanted to be on originally.
Exactly, and to have it be done with Geoff was an extra bonus.
Now you mentioned your art style. It's changed a lot since even the days on Legion.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Did you decide I want to try this new thing? Describe the process of the change in art style.
Well, I mean, I had been doing that before just for fun, but I never really thought that it was practical to do in a sequential style on a monthly basis, you know? So I actually, the double-page spread of Superboy looking out into the cornfield with the sun setting on the first issue of Adventure Comics, that was actually just a pinup I had done to play around with the style. And I actually gave myself the weekend I basically did sample pages for a job I already got, right? So I did these 4 pages of Superboy, and I showed it to Dan and Geoff, and they really liked it, and it became actually the opening sequence to Adventure Comics 1. And it was more, since it was such a down-to-earth story than the other kind of, you know, big budget action type stuff that Geoff was writing, the art style really, really suited the subject matter, you know? So it was just the perfect opportunity to finally actually put my whole body in, jump into the pool, as they say, rather than just dip my toes in.
Now it's more intensive labor-wise. This style. Is it difficult to keep it on a monthly schedule?
It's actually faster. I can draw and ink and watercolor my pages faster than when I would pencil. You know, I mean, a Legion page used to take me a day and a half. I can actually do 2 pages of The Flash a day, you know? So it's definitely a lot quicker because the way this style is, because I'm using brushes in watercolor, you actually have to move quickly, right? With pencil, I spend all this time noodling and just laboring over it. But with watercolor and ink, you have to do bold strokes, quick strokes, right? You can't, if you slow down, it's gonna look all wobbly and wonky. So the irony of it is that I'm actually faster doing that.
On a Flash book.
On a Flash book.
I'm here with Gabriel Hartman. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Very good. Now, the first issue of your run on the Hulk with Jeff Parker just came out, and it was great. So what was that like to have it hit the stands and see so much great reaction to it?
It was fantastic. I mean, you know, it was, we actually got a lot of great reaction all the time about Atlas. It's just that not that many people bought it.
Right.
So, but it was, you know, obviously it was fantastic for people to be digging the Hulk thing.
It's interesting because to have you follow, you know, Loeb and McGinnis, it's a very different style that you do. And at first I thought, I don't know if that's right, but now it seems like that contrast is really good. Were you sort of aware of that, like you're going to be doing a different book?
I went into it with the intention of doing it the way that I thought it should be, you know, and nobody told me different. So that's what happened, you know. And we certainly were conscious of trying to make the book accessible to people who were already reading the book. But you know, but still, we're a different team, and we're coming in and we're doing something different.
Now I've seen a lot of comic stuff out of you recently. You've had Atlas, you've had Heathen Town and stuff like that, but you came from working in animation and storyboarding and stuff like that?
Not animation, live action storyboards. Yeah.
So do you find that, like, has it been fun to transition and do comics and do more storytelling and stuff like that, or is it really similar?
It's not similar. I mean, it's all storytelling stuff because mainly it's, you know, mainly what I do is storyboards. I mean, I did Inception and, you know, and a lot of superhero movies. And, you know, I mean, basically everything that I'm interested in is storytelling. You know, I'm not a design guy. I don't really do concept work for movies. I'm just interested in visually telling the story.
What's interesting about that too is that you're a guy, I see a lot of your sketches show up online. We use them a lot on our site. We put them up like that. You do great sketches, and they're these pinups, but that's a totally different sort of art, you know, than the comic book page.
I enjoy doing the pinups. I probably am. I'm certainly less interested in doing covers and doing doing just splashy, you know, kind of sexy images or whatever. I don't really know a way into something if I'm not telling a story. So, you know, but those sketches are not necessarily the same sort of thing. They're very, very straightforward, you know, and like they're deliberately straightforward and all intentionally are of a piece. You know, they're all a more or less a similar size composition, and you know. And are supposed to all kind of fit together as like, you know, the million sketches I did this year. You know, that hopefully I'll put a book together for.
Was there anything that you found like you had a ton of fun drawing it and you're like, wow, I think I'd like to spend more time doing that character?
Any character that could never support a book, I'm interested in. You know, maybe the Golden Age Vision or. Probably, I don't know. I'm sure there are other ones. I always like the characters no one else is interested in.
Well, sort of speaking of that, but now Atlas is one of those books that people really did love. There's
Except for you guys.
Well, see, sometimes they listen. I didn't say there was anything wrong with it. I couldn't get into it for whatever reason. But, oh man, no. I have to live with these decisions. It's fine. But people were really into it, and it didn't last all that long, which is, it's always sad to see a book go that people are really into. Is that something in your mind? Like, you must know sooner than it's ending, you know, like, oh, this is going to be the end of it, but you're still going and putting everything into it so you can have something to be proud of at the end? Like, was Atlas for something?
Hey, the book is the book.
Yeah.
It's still sitting there, you know? I mean, so, you know, whether it gets canceled or, I mean, it doesn't become irrelevant as soon as it gets canceled. I mean, it still exists. It'll still be a trade, you know, and, you know, and I love drawing that book. It's, you know, it had, you know, I mean, there's tons of visual interest in it, and, you know, I drew a talking gorilla, and you know what, honestly, I'm not one of those guys who just likes anything with a talking gorilla in it. You know, the book managed to, you know, to do goofy stuff, but do it in a way that was, you know, took it seriously and was satisfying, and I really enjoyed drawing it.
So we're here at the New York Comic Con with Stan Lee, Mr. Comic Books, Mr. New York. How you doing, sir?
I think I'm doing pretty well. Nobody has hit me or yelled at me yet, but of course there's always a first time.
True. So the other night we were at a very swanky affair in Times Square for the Stan Lee Foundation. That was quite the party.
Yes, well, if it isn't swanky, it isn't my party.
Yeah.
I mean, I am known for being one of the great party givers of all time.
Yeah.
Although I wasn't the host of that. I was one of the invited guests also, and I was thrilled to be there and to see the crowd. And of course, when I saw you there, I said, "Now it's a party."
Oh, you're too kind. So yeah, the Stanley Foundation seems to have a great kickoff, and it seems to get some good response.
Yeah, it got a wonderful response, and even though I have no oversight of the foundation itself, I'm very pleased that my name is there because it's for the purpose of education and teaching literacy, and I can't think of a better purpose for a foundation.
Excellent. So, ton of announcements here at the show. You're creating some characters for the NHL. I heard, yeah.
Well, of course, somebody had to do it, and I tell you, the NHL is such a great league. You know, hockey and all those great teams, 30 of them. And the names of the teams themselves lend themselves to superhero characters. So this thing I'm doing, it almost writes itself. But I think it's going to be big. I think it's going to be popular. And I think that there's never been anything like it, where you take an actual league of 30 teams of one of the fastest sports in the world, and you create a bunch of superheroes based on that. It's a thrilling project, really.
Cool, excellent. And we talked in San Diego with the announcement with Boom Studios. You got those characters that you helped create coming out. Have you seen? The books haven't come out yet, but we've seen some art, we've seen some stuff. Are you happy with the progress that's making?
Am I happy? You've seen the artwork. It's magnificent. Why wouldn't I be happy? Of course. Boom is doing a great job under my supervision, of course. And see, the thing is, I only like to do things that are exciting and that I think are really good and that I think the fans and the public will enjoy. So I think the books we're doing at Boom, they'll be great. But obviously, I think everything I do will be great because I'm a great judge of quality myself.
Absolutely. So in addition to all the other projects you got going on, POW Entertainment is kicking butt. What have you got going on at POW these days?
You said that much too quickly. It's not POW Entertainment. It's POW Entertainment. It's POW exclamation point. That's so people don't think it stands for prisoner of war. Because as you very well know, POW stands for Purveyors of Wonder. And POW Entertainment, of course, is the engine behind all these fantastic things that I'm doing. And it's a little company that I'm part of, and we are having so much fun with it, just the way I had fun with Marvel a million years ago. Now we have POW, just like Marvel was. It's small, but it's doing magnificent things. And everything you've mentioned is part of POW. And some of the things that you haven't mentioned are part of POW.
You do stuff with movies and cartoons and video games, right?
All of that.
Yeah, real multimedia, right?
Yeah, I like the way you talk. Yes, it's all POW. And the next time we get together, I will be able to tell you. See, we're working on so many movies and television shows and other projects that are really spectacular, like a live action show in the Orient, which is going to be as big or bigger than the Cirque du Soleil. But I'm not allowed to talk about those things yet. But be sure to catch me at the next convention, because I want to watch the expression on your face when your eyes bug out and you go, I can't believe it. This little company, POW, is doing all of that. So I want to get that reaction.
With real wonder, right? Yeah, the look of wonder that will happen.
Boy. Hey, I want to tell you something. It's always fun being interviewed by you.
Hey, we love to have you on, man.
All right.
You're the reason why we're here. I mean, look, our logo is the Fantastic Four font. I mean, Marvel Comics, all your comics, that's why we're here.
You're a great human being.
Yeah, you
and
too,
I'll
Stan.
see you next time.
Thank you. We were just at the Marvel booth, and the line was wrapped around twice around the booth, all waiting in line to get tickets to meet you.
You're kidding.
No,
Am I supposed to be there later? Oh, my God. And there are a lot of people?
There are a lot of people
Do
there.
I have to talk to all of them?
Maybe.
No, I love the fans. I love their enthusiasm. I love being in places like this. I love being interviewed by guys like you because you make it painless. Because I can say whatever I want to you. You don't give a damn. You're not paying attention anyway. You're just looking at your watch. Another 5 minutes and I'll be rid of him.
Listen, Stan, I'm a busy guy. You know?
Then I'll do something important. I know your attitude.
Well, thank you very much. Have a great show. It's always great to see you.
Yeah, that's about the way it goes.